What's up, decoders? Welcome back to the live stream. Today is October 3rd, 2025, and we have the Killing Moon live stream ready and raring to go today. Been working all day to get this out to you guys. So if you're just getting in, please hit those like buttons. And I've decided that in my live streams from now on, I'm not going to make the intro so long. I'm going to get close. I'm going to get into the info faster so that the people that are watching on a replay don't have to watch me babble on. So we're going to get in just like 50 seconds or so, we're going to get right into the info, and we're going to do a recap, probably, well, somewhat of a recap at the end. And I want your guys's comments. Also, if you guys have anything to share, don't forget to share that in the chat. So we have a lot to talk about. This is going to be one of my favorite decodes I've ever done. Every slide is mind-blowing to me, and I think this is the first decode I can say that I've done in a while that's back to par. You know, recently I've kind of done less numbers. I've been kind of just keeping it simple. But in this decode, we're going to go back to my roots, and we're going to see if I still got the number coding in me. Okay, so let me know what you guys think of the decode. I worked hard on this, and there's actually more I had to leave out. Okay, so there's a lot of info that I left out, and maybe we'll get into that later in the video. But the main important points, I've made slides. So thank you to everyone in the chat. If you guys can hear me, make sure if you can't hear me, I'm assuming everyone can hear me. But if not, let me know. Okay. All right. So we're gonna get right into it. This stream kind of stemmed from the Charlie Kirk thing and the Bad Bunny thing. So we're going to connect this to the current events, Charlie Kirk and Bad Bunny, and then we're going to go back in time, and we're going to show how this connects, of course, to Donnie Darko, JFK, the moon landing, Donald Trump, Melania Trump, and I'm going to show you how this is clearly all about the moon, okay? The moon, which I think sometimes we forget, is how we, tell times. The moon cycles. The moon is very important on human emotion. So there's a lot of effect with the moon. And my first slide is really going to be the gist of this. Let me get out of here because I accidentally pressed the wrong button. All right, so thanks to Rambo. Let me pull up Rambo real fast. I got to give the shout out to Rambo. So Rambo, and in case you guys don't know who Rambo is, Rambo's the guy who I do every Tuesday on AJ's channel, Ball Don't Lie. We do our Eye to Eye podcast. And here's Rambo's channel, The Truth Codes on Patreon. So www.patreon.com/thetruthcodes. And make sure you guys go check out his channel over there on Patreon. He's also got an Instagram. But he had mentioned something to me about the movie Donnie Darko. He had been talking about Donnie Darko right before Charlie Kirk was shot. And we were talking about Donnie Darko just a few days before the Kirk event. And it was all because Rambo, he was all over this Donnie Darko theme, okay? And he had told me, so let me get into the slides here. He had told me that the song that opens the movie Donnie Darko is called The Killing Moon, okay? And the band that sings the song is Echo and the Bunnymen. So not only do you have The Killing Moon, you have the Bunnymen, okay? Of course, the movie Donnie Darko is about a bunny, okay? And I don't remember exactly how it works, but the numbers that Frank the Rabbit gives to Donnie in the movie, they are like a moon phase, okay? And they add up to 88, right? They're the different, I can't remember how it was explained to me by my friend Casey, but it has something to do with the moon, the numbers that are given to Donnie Darko. It's a moon code, right? Now, I'm going to prove to you, if the first slide isn't enough to to hit the like button, I don't know what is, because I'm going to prove to you just with this first slide that Donnie Darko is a moon riddle, 100%. Okay. So because the song that opens the movie is called The Killing Moon, and it's by the Bunnymen, right? Well, there's a mythological figure on the moon called the Moon Rabbit. Okay, now you can look this up. People over the ages have associated the moon with the bunny. Of course, this has been talked about before. I believe Donuts talked about this a lot, but it actually looks like the dark spots on the moon look like a bunny. Okay. Just a few days before that, we were talking about this movie, and we were now that we know that this character Frank, who's played by the actor James Duval, now that we know that he is a moon riddle, right? We have to understand how this connects to current events. How does this connect to the Charlie Kirk incident? Well, again, as I pointed out in my first decode that I did on this, the actor who played Frank the Rabbit, James Duval, his birthday is September 10th. September 10th, okay? What's going on? No sound? Sorry, guys, I wasn't watching the chat. Are you kidding me? Is my best decode really going to be? Let me know if you guys can still hear me. Am I back? Okay. Oh man. Hopefully this gets through this. All right. Anyways, James Duval, the actor who plays the rabbit, his birthday is the day that Charlie Kirk died. Okay. Right. So Charlie Kirk died on Frank the Rabbit's birthday. This is the clue right here. This is all you really need to know to understand how this is all connected. Charlie Kirk died on his birthday. On his 53rd birthday, the word moon landing equals 53. We're going to talk about I'm not saying, and just a prerequisite, I'm not saying that any of the moon landing is real. None of this is real with NASA, okay? NASA is all lies, right? It's a snake, right? NASA, which is why we have the snake symbolism going on, right? So just to prerequisite this whole video, I do not believe anything that NASA says, but we're using the numbers that NASA gives us and the way that the planets supposedly move, and we're going to decode this, okay? So James Duval, born on 9/10, and now that we know that the moon rabbit is on the moon, right? Moon rabbit equals 109 in ordinal gematria. Okay. Well, what day is that? That is the day that James Duval was born. If you write it in the international, it's 10/9. That's also the day that Charlie Kirk died, 109. Now, Charlie Kirk died of a shooting, which equals 109. And in the movie, James Duval's character, the rabbit, gets shot as well. So this couldn't be any more perfect. James Duval, Charlie Kirk is the moon rabbit. He died on the moon on this guy's birthday, okay? Now, this is not new information, but not only did he die on James Duval's birthday, right? Well, I'm not even saying that. He probably didn't even die. Okay, I got to check myself here because people will say, what are you talking about, Cody? He probably didn't even die. Yeah, remember, guys, we don't believe anything they say, but we're just going off the narrative, okay? We're just decoding the narrative, the symbolism, right? That's all we're doing. So not only did Charles James Kirk die on his birthday, he has multiple matches in gematria. Look at this. How is this even possible? He died on the guy's birthday, and their names are literally perfect match in forward and reverse. Like, think about the odds of that. Okay? The odds of Charlie Kirk dying on this guy's birthday and having exact gematria match. Okay? And look, they have the same name, James, right? Charles James, James Edward, okay? It's the James connection. Remember, the shooter of Charles Kirk is Tyler James Robinson. So everybody has the James there, okay? And that goes back to King James. We're not going to get into that, but the James is in all the names, okay? So now that we know that Charlie Kirk is clearly connected to Frank the Rabbit, the actor, right? Now we have to understand, why is it that 18 days later, after the shooting, did the NFL announce that the Super Bowl halftime performer at Super Bowl 60 would be none other than Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny. After all that, after all these connections, right, with Kirk, 18 days later, it's Bad Bunny, okay? Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence at all. And look at how many days it was. 18 days, which, yeah, is 6 plus 6 plus 6. So that's a good connection. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. But look at the gematria. Okay, first of all, why is the 18 connected to the moon, Rabbit? Well, the tarot card, which represents the moon, is the 18th tarot card. The moon card is number 18 in the major arcana and signifies illusion, fear, and anxiety, and a subconscious mind urging caution. So the 18th tarot card is the moon, and after the Charlie Kirk shooting, which was the birthday of Frank the Rabbit, 18 days, like the moon card. And look at this. What are the absolute odds that moon card, like the moon tarot card, equals Bad Bunny in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers? Look, 83, 133, and 43. What are the odds of that? Now look, it also equals football, which this is going to be a football game that he's going to be performing at. What are the odds of that? Bad Bunny equals the moon card and football, and 18 is the moon card, and 18 days after Charlie Kirk, after the birthday of Frank the Rabbit? There's no way. There's no way, after what I just showed you here, that this is a coincidence. We're not just talking about one cipher. We're talking about multiple ciphers, which is almost improbable, okay? So with that being said, that's not even the most mind-blowing part. It's just going to keep getting better and better, guys. I really wish I had like 1,000 people watching like I did last week in my live stream. I only have 166 right now. What the heck happened to all the people? I had like 1,000 people watching in my stream last week, and now 160. What happened? Anyways, this information is way better than I shared last week. I'll tell you that right now. So here's all the events I want you guys to keep an eye on as we go through the rest of this video. We're going to talk about these are all the dates that I want you guys to focus on. We're going to talk about some other dates too, but these dates are all the main dates, right? And we're going to talk about Erica Kirk a bit, but not as much as I thought. I didn't get a lot of Erica Kirk in this. But there might be a part 2 with this because there's so much to talk about. Anyway, JFK's assassination date, the moon landing, the supposed moon landing, the Killing Moon release date. The guy who wrote The Killing Moon is Ian McCulloch. We're going to talk about him a bit, but not a whole lot. We're going to talk about Bad Bunny, as we've already have. Obviously, Donald Trump. Donald Trump is Donnie Darko, of course. Erica Kirk, the assassination. But then the most important part of this decode is the Golden Gate Bridge. Now, why is the Golden Gate Bridge important? Well, we're going to find out at the end. So here we go. Here's the truly mind-blowing stuff, right? So the song that's in Donnie Darko, where this actor plays the Frank the Rabbit who gets shot, right? is called the killing moon. Okay, so there's two words we want to focus on here. The killing, the word killing. Okay, this word's important. Okay, and of course the moon. But the phrase the killing moon equals 164. Now, why is that so mind-blowing? Because look how many days the actor who plays Frank the Rabbit is born after the moon landing, supposed moon landing. Look at this. Frank the Rabbit is born 164 weeks exactly after the moon landing. What? The song that's in his movie, The Killing Moon, is equals 164. Like ritual murder. In that movie, he gets shot. Now, on top of that, not only was he born exactly 164 weeks after the moon landing was on the day of the year that leaves 164 days in the year. Are you kidding me? How much more perfect? Why do you think they made this song, and why do you think they called it The Killing Moon? Because it all connects back to this event and this guy, okay? This is the number that connects all of these things. Right? 164 day in the year, the moon landing, left in the year, right? 164 weeks after that, this guy was born. And the song that opens the movie where he gets shot is The Killing Moon, which equals 164, okay? Now, remember, I talked about the 109 back here with Moon Rabbit, which is the shape of on the moon that looks like a rabbit. It equals 109, like shooting, right? Well, from the day that John F. Kennedy came out and announced that there would be a special joint Congress to go to the moon, remember, he was shot in a shooting, right? From the day he did that to the day of the moon landing was exactly 109 moon orbits. Now, what is a moon orbit? Because we're talking about the moon, we got to go off of the moon orbits. So NASA gives the moon orbits to be 27.3 days. Okay, so that means 109 times 27.3 is the amount of time between JFK and the moon landing, the time he came out to speak about it. Now, why is that so important? Well, because that's the gematria of Moon Rabbit. Now, here's the catcher. Here's the catch. Why is John F. Kennedy connected to the rabbit? He's connected to the moon, obviously. He's the one who pushed the moon, right? Well, what if I told you that JFK was assassinated in the year of the rabbit? Yes, that's right. He was assassinated in the year of the rabbit. So his shooting, which equals 109, happened in the rabbit year, which takes us back to the moon rabbit, okay? And again, exactly 109 moons between his speech and the actual landing, supposed landing. Now, here's where it just starts to really get mind-blowing, okay? Now, remember, in this practice that we practice here, we have something called numerology, where you add the date up and you get the number, right? So let's look at JFK's assassination date. Look at this. 11 plus 22 plus 19 plus 63. That's 115. Okay? Killing. This is the number most associated with killing in gematria. There are two ciphers in gematria where the word killing equals 115. This is very rare. You're not going to find a lot of things that equal 115 in two ciphers. So there is no more number associated with killing than the number 115, okay? When you have two ciphers, both the reverse cipher and the Latin cipher, killing 115. And yeah, Charles Kirk, that's not how he's known by mostly, but his name, Charles Kirk, does equal 115. But look at this. JFK assassinated on the 115 numerology. Well, what if I told you that the moon landing was also on 115 numerology? Look at this. 7 plus 20 plus 19 plus 69, 115. What are the odds of that? Both of these guys, the event, the assassination, and the moon landing, both on 115 numerology, when killing equals 115. Again, at the beginning, I did a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. I don't believe anything that NASA says. Okay? I don't care what you guys think about the astrology. I don't care about that. I don't believe any of it either, but we're dealing the numbers here. I don't care what happens in the sky in reality, because it's all a lie anyway. So for those people that keep coming in here and saying, do I know that this or that about whatever? I don't care. Okay. Just focus on the dang numbers and see how mind-blowing this is. That's not what we need to focus on. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting upset. I hate these people that come in here and say it's all fake. Who cares? The numbers is what I'm focusing on. I don't care about the actual whatever. Okay. So anyways, so we know that this song, The Killing Moon from Donnie Darko, is about the word killing, right? That's the main word. Okay. So I decided to take the whole lyrics, okay? The whole lyrics to the Donnie Darko song, The Killing Moon. And if you type them into the Gematria calculator, you'd copy and paste them, the whole lyrics, it equals 4663. Okay? Guys, 4663 is connected to killing code. Look at this. The total lyrics, look, they equal 4663. 4663 is the 631st prime number, and 631 is the 115th prime number. Are you kidding me? The whole lyrics to the song sums to the 4663, which breaks down to 115. And again, man is not doing all this. This is not all done by man. This is called moon magic. It's manifestation. They're manifesting the stuff. They're not sitting down in a room trying to figure these numbers out. This is called manifestation of a matrix, of God's power. It's the backwards use of God's power. It's manifestation magic. Why do you think magic is associated with the moon? Okay? This is why these numbers manifest like this. Do you think the guy sat down the guy who wrote this song, do you think he sat down and wrote every word so it could come out to the 115 connection with the whole lyrics? Do you think he did that? Maybe he did. I don't know, but I doubt it. Okay? I might very much doubt that. So you're telling me that all these 115s, and when you type in the whole lyrics, it breaks down to 115th prime. Okay? This right here is mind-blowing. And it gets even better. Okay? We're not even to the best part yet. But remember this number as we go through the rest of the decode. This is the killing number, right? So remember, I told you JFK assassinated on 115 date numerology. The moon landing on 115 date numerology. But what if I told you there's exactly 70 moon phases, which means a full phase of the moon from new moon to full, back to new moon, right? There's exactly 70 moon phases between the JFK assassination and the moon landing. Why is that so mind-blowing? Because in Gematria, the killing moon equals 70. Wow. The killing moon equals 70. That is the amount of moon phases between JFK's assassination and the moon landing. 70. Now, I was just playing around with this, and I was like, well, what happens if we go 70 moon phases after the moon landing? Look what happened. Look at the top song. This is just ridiculous. Look at the top song. Remember, we're talking about a song here, The Killing Moon, right? But look at the top song, exactly 70 moon phases after the moon landing. It's a song by Frankie. Are you kidding me? A song by Frankie? What's the rabbit's name in Donnie Darko? Yeah, his name is Frank. Frankie Valli. And look at the numerology of that date. That date is 3/18/1975. Look, it's 115 date numerology again. So if you go 70 moons from the JFK thing, it had 115, right? You go to the moon landing, it had 115. You go 70 again, it had 115. And it's a song by Frankie. And look at what year that was, guys. What year did this song, what year was this song number one? It was in the rabbit year. This song was number one on March 18, 1975 during the rabbit year. And look at the name of the song. My Eyes Adored You. It equals 70 in the same cipher as the Killing Moon. Guys, are you kidding me? Like, let that sink in for a second. I just went 70 from the assassination to the moon landing, and then 70 from the moon landing, and you get this. And the song literally matches the Killing Moon in the same cipher. And it's 70, just like the moon. Look, this is the amount of phases in between. Not to mention, it has the 115 numerology like Killing. And again, the rabbit's name is Frankie. So shout out to all the people in the chat. I'm not paying attention to the comments right now, but I see some people saying, shout out to Widow's Son for dropping the fires. Appreciate you, brother. And also, thanks to all the people. Like, this is mind-blowing, guys. This is moon magic. This is manifestation magic right here. This is Aleister Crowley on steroids. Okay? This is not somebody sitting down in a room figuring this out. This is using the energy of the people and manifesting it. Okay? I'm calling it moon magic. Now, what if I told you? Now, remember, we connected Bad Bunny, who got announced at to be at the Super Bowl next year. I just told you that 70 moon phases after the moon landing is Frankie Valli, right? Well, Frankie Valli's full name is Benito Antonio. No, sorry. Frankie Valli's real name is Francesco Stephen Castelluccio. Guys, what are the chances that his full name equals Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny's full name. What? In the same cipher. In the same cipher that My Eyes Adored You equaled the Killing Moon, right? The same cipher, reverse reduction. In the same cipher, their full names equal 156. Now, why is 156 so important? Well, 911 is the 156 prime. So this is a 9/11 connection, okay? But just the odds of this. So guys, please pay attention. This might be one of my best finds of all time, and that's saying a lot. Look at this. Remember, Killing is all about the number 115. So what is a brown lunation? A brown lunation is counting the moons, right? So every moon since 1923 was given a number. Every new moon, right? Well, I don't even know how to explain this. Yes, the Killing Moon extended version is 9 minutes, 11 seconds long. That is a fact, yes. Also, look at this. So I went from the last day of moon lunation 115. Why 115? Because 115 is the gematria of killing, like the Killing Moon, right? If you go from the last day of lunation 115, which was May 4th, 1932, to the assassination of JFK on 115 date numerology, it's 11524. Okay, well, first of all, you got your 115 there, but that's a date, guys. 11/5/24. What happened on 11/5/24? Oh, it was the 60th presidential election where Mr. Frank the Rabbit Donald Darko, he won. Guys, look at the numerology, date numerology of this date I measured from. It has 60. 5 plus 4 plus 19 plus 32, 60. 11524 days after this moon lunation, 115, was the killing of JFK, which was on 115. That's the date of the election. But this is what's even crazier. When Bad Bunny, guys, I don't think you guys are, I don't see any mind blows in the chat. How can you, I'll finish what I'm saying. Look at this. When Bad Bunny was announced to be the Super Bowl performer, how old was he? Guys, he was the exact same amount of days old. Bad Bunny, guys, you get this. Bad Bunny was 11524 days old when they announced him. This is the same amount of days between the last lunation 115 to the killing of JFK. And this is the date of the 60th election. And Bad Bunny is going to be performing at the 60th Super Bowl. Like this right here is proof of why they announced he was going to be the Super Bowl performer on 9/28/2025. That's why. This is it. This is all you need to know. It's all connected to Donald Trump and JFK and San Francisco, as I'm going to talk about in a minute. Right? So again, these moon lunations, this is moon magic. You go from the moon lunation 115, which had 60 numerology, like the 60th election, and you get this. And that's the same age as Bad Bunny was when he was selected. That's the same age as Trump, or that's the same day that Trump was elected, 11/5/24. And don't forget the moon landing had 11/5, right? But that's not even it, guys. There's more. A few days ago during our podcast with Rambo and AJ, we were talking about this game that happened 2 days after Bad Bunny was announced to be the performer. Remember, Bad Bunny was 11524 days old this day. 2 days later, this soccer team pulled a huge upset. Galatasaray, I can't even say this still. They upset Liverpool 1-0. They did that 131 days before the Super Bowl next year, which Bad Bunny is going to be at, right? Super Bowl 131, Championship 131. This Super Bowl is going to be in San Francisco. It even has the bridge on there, okay? Guess how, if you go from the founding date of this team that upset 2 days after Bad Bunny was announced to the construction ending on the Golden Gate Bridge, it's the same amount of days, guys. Look, the founding of this team that upset, right, 2 days after Bad Bunny, if you measure from their founding date to the Golden Gate Bridge, it's 11524. Are you kidding me? Bad Bunny is going to be at the Super Bowl where the Golden Gate Bridge is. And that's how old he was when they announced this. So this team pulling this huge upset 131 days before the Super Bowl, which equals 131, and you find out that their team was founded 11524 days before the Golden Gate Bridge construction ended? That's undeniable. So if you add this, right, to this, and we got one more. If you go 11524 days back from the Super Bowl, you land on this date, July 22nd, 1994. What happened on July 22nd, 1994? 11524 days before the Super Bowl. Look at this. On July 22nd, 1994, O.J. Simpson was formally arraigned in Los Angeles Superior Court on 2 counts of killing or murder for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. Golden Gate Bridge, right? At that arraignment, he entered a plea deal of not guilty. Guys, 11524 days before the Super Bowl, O.J. Simpson pleaded not guilty for killing. Guys, killing. This whole number, 115, is about the killing, right? O.J. Simpson, 11524 days before. He pleaded not guilty to killing Nicole Brown. Why is this so important? But look at, this is the kick, guys. Look at where is O.J. Simpson from? He's from San Francisco. So you're telling me that 11524 days before the Super Bowl in San Francisco, the guy who's from San Francisco, who was one of the most famous killing cases of all time, he pleaded not guilty on that very day, July 22nd, 1994. And what if I told you that this day, July 22nd, is the birth or is the death date of this guy? So he pleaded not guilty on July 22nd, 1994, right? That was the death anniversary of this guy. Now, who's this guy? Wait, his name is Ernest William Brown? Brown? Like O.J. Simpson killed Brown? Why? What did this guy do? His life's work was studying the moon's lunation. Guys, this is the guy who created the lunation. This thing right here that I just showed you 2 slides ago, the moon lunation, it's called the Brown lunation. This guy is the guy who created that. And he died on the day that O.J. Simpson said he wasn't guilty for killing Nicole Brown. And this guy's name is Brown. Look, July 22nd is his death date. That's the day that O.J. Simpson pleaded not guilty, July 22nd, for killing Brown. You see, this is all about the moon. No denying that. And it's the exact amount of days. Look, 11524. This is the same days. This is how old Bad Bunny was when he was announced the Super Bowl. This is Trump's election day. And this is the amount of days between Brown lunation 115 ending to the assassination of JFK. That's also Ozzy's death date, yes. And Ozzy had a song, Shoot the Moon. Let's look at that for a minute. Shoot the Moon. Wait, where is it? Maybe I got it wrong. Ozzy. Okay, it's Bark at the Moon, right? Bark at the Moon. Well, first of all, is there a song called? Yeah, it must be. I was getting it messed up. Bark at the Moon. So Ozzy died on 7/22. That's the death date of the guy who created the moon lunations, Brown. That's also the day that O.J. Simpson pleaded not guilty for killing Nicole Brown. Okay. So again, Bark at the Moon is probably tied to this, but I haven't looked into that yet. So just recapping this one more time. It's the same amount of days that Bad Bunny was when they announced his becoming the Super Bowl as it was from Moon Lunation 115 to the killing of JFK, right? And that's the election day, right? That's the same amount of days it was from the founding of this soccer team, which performed a huge upset 2 days after Bad Bunny was declared, right? I know it's a bit hard to understand all of it if you don't understand it all in pieces, but again, this is the same amount of days, right? This is improbable. Now, we got to go back to the 164. We were talking about the 115s for a while, but we got to go back to the 164 because Bad Bunny was born the same year that OJ did his killing, supposedly. Look, 1994. Remember, O.J. Simpson is from San Francisco. Bad Bunny is going to be performing in San Francisco at the Super Bowl next year. But look, Shortly after midnight on June 13, 1994, Nicole Brown and her friend Ron were found stabbed, right? Well, 6/13, the day that they were found, is the day 164th day of the year. The killing moon, 164. The moon landing happened on the day leaving 164 days in the year, right? So basically, they found Nicole Brown on the opposite day on the calendar of the moon landing. That's basically how you can say it, right? And this is the number that connects us right back to the killing moon. And remember, the actor who plays Frank the Rabbit was born 164 weeks after the moon landing. Again, the killing moon. And here, I just put this in a slide. I forgot I put this in a slide. Yeah, today is the anniversary of O.J. Simpson being found not guilty. I didn't even plan that, guys. I didn't even know that until a little bit ago. But I just found this OJ thing today, and I had no idea that today was the day he was found not guilty. But look, shortly after, so anyway, he killed Nicole Brown, and he pleaded not guilty on the day of Ernest William Brown's death date. Okay, and he's the guy who created the lunations, which I show you here. Okay, but this is so. Everything I was talking about connects us back to the Golden Gate Bridge. Remember, we used this number to find that from the team that upset to the Golden Gate Bridge, from their founding to the Golden Gate Bridge was 11524. So now we got to look into the Golden Gate Bridge. And I believe this is proof that the killing moon is all about San Francisco and the Golden Gate Bridge. Now look at this. If you go from the end of construction of the Golden Gate, 4/19/1937, to the release of the killing moon by the Bunnymen, right? It's 17,077 days. Guys, the 17,077 is the 1969 prime number. Now, what happened in 1969? The moon landing. So the code between the Golden Gate and the Killing Moon song points us to the moon landing. So you understand that these three events are tied. The Golden Gate, the moon landing. Guys, I'm telling you, the Golden Gate Bridge looks like at some point it's going to get it, man. Like, I'm telling you, there's a lot of symbolism pointing to the Golden Gate Bridge, and this is just more of it, okay? 17,077 is the 1969 prime number, the moon landing. So there's another way you can measure it, right? It was 17,077 days, right? But if you measure in moon lunations created by William Ernest Brown, right? It's 578. It's not exactly 578, but it's 578 lunar phases. Guys, the song, The Killing Moon, in standard gematria equals 578. What are the odds of that? You got this, right? And you got this. This is the gematria of the song, The Killing Moon, 578. Now, here's the kicker. I decided to look and see what the moon was at on the day of this song release, The Killing Moon, right? The Killing Moon release date was on the day of a waning gibbous moon. That's what they call it, guys, a waning gibbous. The date of this song was a waning gibbous. What do you guys think the moon is for the Super Bowl in San Francisco with Bad Bunny? Yep, you got it. It's a waning gibbous. Wow. So out of all the phases, it's actually the same phase as the killing moon. Unbelievable. These are both waning gibbuses. And you have the killing moon and the Super Bowl on the same moon. And look at what a waning gibbous moon equals. 88. Bad Bunny is known as the king of Latin trap, which equals 88. And of course, this connects to all the years of the rabbit. When JFK was assassinated, was a year of the rabbit. It equals 88. Donnie Darko was released in 88. Erica Kirk was born in 88. In Back to the Future, Doc Brown, right? Like Brown Lunation, the moon lunation, right? He needs to travel 88 miles per hour. So do you guys understand how crazy that is? That it falls on the same moon lunation? Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's name equals 88. The guy who plays Donnie Darko equals 88. But yeah, that's why I'm saying, look at this. A waning gibbous, the exact same moon. I can't believe it. Now remember, now we're going to cover more of the Trump stuff, okay? So now that we know this is connected to the Super Bowl, right? And it's connected to Bad Bunny and the Killing Moon. Well, remember how this year started. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Turning Point and that in a minute. But remember, when Donald Trump took office this year, it was exactly 666 months after the fake moon landing. Well, in Gematria, National Aeronautics Space Administration equals 666. NASA, right? If you spell out their whole name, it equals 666. Okay? I forgot to even mention this song. Okay, yeah, actually, no. I got it in my slides. So it was 666 months from the moon landing to Donald Trump's inauguration this year. Okay? Now, Melania, fake moon landing equals 666, Joseph says. So look at this. Melania represents the moon going from light to dark. Look at this. She's the one who's always standing next to Trump in both of his inaugurations, which were 8 years apart, right? Melania means dark or black, like Donnie Darko. Melania is the Darko, the Donald and the Darko. That's what this means, guys. I figured this out. Melania is the Darko, the dark. Trump is the Donnie. Melania is the dark. So why do you think it is that in his first inauguration, Melania was wearing light colors? Light blue. That was exactly 33 years to the day from the Killing Moon coming out. It came out on 1/20/1984. Trump, exactly 30 years later, became the president, 1/20/2017. And Melania was wearing the light color, right? But also, if you go from, remember, the Killing Moon came out on January 20th, Inauguration Day, 1984. So if you measure from the Killing Moon to Trump's inauguration in 2025, it's 41 years. Now look at what Melania's wearing this time. She became the dark side of the moon. Do you guys get it? She went from light to dark. And what does Melania equal in Gematria? Yep, you guessed it. Melania equals light to dark. 53. Now remember, Charlie Kirk was shot on the 53rd birthday got a lot of slides here. Charlie Kirk was shot on the 53rd birthday of Frank the Rabbit, right? And Melania, she represents the light. This year, she's the dark side of the moon, okay? And yeah, I'm glad Casey Jones is in here because let me put his comment up here because I'm going to talk about this. So anyway, I hope you guys get that. Melania represents the dark side of the moon. We are seeing the dark side of Donnie Darko. Okay. This is clear symbolism. She went from light to dark, and now she's become the Donnie Darko, right? This is Donnie Darko right here. Donald and Darko. And Darko, Darko is a name from the Balkans, and Melania is from the Balkans. Think about it. Darko, if you type in the name, is Darko a Balkans name? Yes, historically the name gained prominence through the Balkan region. Okay, where is Melania from? Yes, she is from Slovenia, which is the Balkans. Okay, Darko, it points to the Balkans. Right? Slavic. Is Darko, I'm just going to type this in. Is Darko used in Slovenia? Is Darko a name in Slovenia? Well, there it is. Yes, Darko is a Slavic name meaning gift or precious gift. So Melania means dark, right? But Darko means gift, a hidden gift, a dark gift. So Melania is like a dark gift. But yeah, she's Darko, right? And again, it's not a coincidence that she equals light to dark. Moon landing also equals 53. Now, let me bring up Casey Jones Astrology's comment. And let me show you this. All right, so Melania. So I just talked about how Melania, I talked about the moons, right? Well, let's measure from Melania to her child's birth. Let me just do that. Let me just show you. So Melania's birthday, Melania, however you say her name. Her birthday is April 26, 1970, right? And her son, Barron Trump, was born on March 20th, 2006. Look how many days or how many moons they're born apart. You guys see this? Melania Trump and Barron Trump are born exactly 444 lunations apart. What is that in gematria? There it is. Melania and Barron, born 444. This whole thing was about the killing moon. And yes, Frank the Rabbit equals 444. We found out that yesterday in Joseph's stream. Frank the Rabbit equals 444. Look at this. The shooter from Snake Eyes, Tariq Rabat, like a rabbit, right? 444. Tariq Rabat, 444. He was the guy in the Snake Eyes movie. Lucifer, 444. Frank the Rabbit, 444. Stabbing, killing. Isus, the Greek for Jesus. Energy, 444. Jesus, 444. The key, 444. Weapon, 444. Occult. Okay? So this is the amount of moons that the Melania and Barron are born. Okay? And remember, we had the 4-4-4 game last month on September 4th. Remember how the NFL stopped the clock at 4 minutes and 44 seconds? and the final score was 44 points, and it was on Beyonce's 44th birthday. Just go back and watch my videos. It's all about the love frequency, which when you tune your guitar to 444 hertz, your middle C becomes, or your C becomes 528. 528 is the love frequency, right? That's what people say, at least. So this is all connected. And how old did Donnie Darko turn yesterday? Let's look. So Donnie Darko takes place in 1988, right? On October 2nd, 1988. This is Donnie Darko Day, right? If you go to yesterday, look how many months yesterday was. Look how many months yesterday was after Donnie Darko. Yesterday was exactly 444 months after Donnie Darko takes place. And what happened yesterday? There was a stabbing in England. Right? And where does the band that wrote The Killing Moon, where they come from? Echo and the Bunnymen. Where is Echo and the Bunnymen from? They're from England. Right? Yesterday, there was a stabbing in England on the 444th anniversary month of Donnie Darko, and stabbing equals 444. And again, this is the number that we were just talking about. That's the number between Melania Trump and Barron Trump. That's the moons, right? And this is probably tied to, but I want to bring up the 74s and the 88s for a minute. Let's just talk about the 74 and the 88. Look at this. Look at this. So Bad Bunny's nickname is King of Latin Trap, which equals 74 and 88, like Year of the Rabbit, like Turning Point USA. Huh, is that a coincidence, guys? Turning Point USA equals King of Latin Trap, which is Bad Bunny's nickname. Turning Point USA equals Year of the Rabbit. In two ciphers, 74, 88. Remember, the shape of the bunny on the moon, the shape of the bunny on the moon is called the moon rabbit. Well, if you type in the moon rabbit equals 74. The killing moon equals 74. So the killing moon equals Turning Point USA. Huh. I already proved to you in the beginning of this decode that Charlie Kirk was killed on Frank the Rabbit's birthday. And now we find out that Turning Point USA equals the killing moon and equals Year of the Rabbit. The guy who wrote the song, if you use his middle initial, he also equals 74. But look at this guy. Look at the guy who wrote the song The Killing Moon. Look what his full name equals, guys. Look at this. Ian Stephen McCulloch. I'll give you guys one guess before I put it in there. What do you guys think his name's going to equal? Let's see if you guys are intuitive. What do you think Ian Stephen McCulloch's name is going to equal in gematria? I'll give you a hint. It's not 74. It's not 88. It's not those two numbers. No one's even trying to guess, so I'll just put it in there. Ian Stephen McCulloch equals 201. That big 201 number. So the guy who wrote this song goes back to that big 201. and the 312. This is the amount of votes that Donald Trump got. This is the area code for Chicago, which has the 60606 area code. This is the dialing code, 312. But now we got to talk about how this is all connected to Pope Francis really fast. Remember, we connected this to the Golden Gate Bridge, right? We connected this to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Please hit those like buttons, guys. I don't understand how this doesn't have at least 200 likes. I blew this out of the water, man. Like, I worked so hard. This slide right here deserves every like in the book, man. This is ridiculous. I don't like to beg for likes, but I'm telling you, who else on the internet is showing you, besides us in this community, besides all of us decoders, who's showing you why these things are happening with pinpoint precision? Why was Bad Bunny 11524 days old on his announcement? Because it all connects back to the killing moon and the bunny, right? Frank the Rabbit. It's all about Trump's election. You guys understand this? Bad Bunny is going to be performing at the 60th Super Bowl. Trump won the 60th election on 11/5/24. Well, Bad Bunny was 11/5/24 days old on his announcement. So, like, I just don't understand what it takes to. I mean, I get it as time goes on, people are less shocked by this stuff because we're so used to blowing everyone's minds. But this decode is just more mind blowing than normal. Like, I really can't believe how this lined up perfectly. And the 60 is big, you know. Donald Trump, as Joseph's saying in the chat, Donald Trump equals 60. So. And look at again, the last day of Lunation 115 had 60 date numerology, 5 + 4 + 19 + 32. Okay. 11524 days later, you get the assassination of Kennedy on 115 numerology, which is killing. And like, who's showing you this? Is Zach Hubbard showing you this? Is Zach Hubbard showing you this? Yeah, he might say killing is 115, but is he showing you how Bad Bunny was the exact amount of days old as Donald Trump's election day? And Bad Bunny was the exact amount of days old as it was from the Lunation 115 ending to the assassination of Kennedy? And from the soccer team that won 2 days after Bad Bunny, their founding of that team was also the same amount of days to the Golden Gate Bridge, which is where Bad Bunny is going to be performing in San Francisco. And then O.J. Simpson, who is from San Francisco, he pleaded not guilty in a killing case 11524 days before the Super Bowl, which is the same days. Like, this is not just going, guys, this is not just going like 30 days here. Like, oh, look, it's 30 days. No, this is a huge amount of days to line up so perfectly. This is 11,524 days. How is it possible that all of this matches up? Not to mention this one, right? The 70s, right? The killing moon. So hopefully you guys will remember this as we go, because I'm going to have to do follow-up decodes on this. So make sure you guys keep this information kind of in your minds, because this is going to be important as we go towards the Super Bowl. Like, I'm not taking a shot at Zach or anything, but Zach's just doing basic work. But what about everyone who's trying to take this to the next level here? And I'll give a shout out to Widow's Son. He says he feels my pain. I saw him write that earlier. Yeah, make sure you guys go sub to Widow's Son, who's trying to show you guys that it's more than just the Jesuits. I mean, the Jesuits obviously have power in this world, but I don't think the Jesuits sat down in a room and wrote the song The Killing Moon so that the lyrics, the total lyrics of the song, sum to the 631st prime, which is the 115th prime, when the word killing equals 115. I don't think they did that. Okay. I don't think the Jesuits sat down and wrote, "Under the blue moon, I saw you." Right. As a matter of fact, let's bring up the lyrics to this song for a second. Oh, I wanted to talk about the Pope. I got distracted. Okay. So what happened this year, right? First of all, why is it so important to connect the Pope to a rabbit? Well, first of all, let me show you. So notice how Pope and rabbit are a direct match, okay? So this tells you something. Pope equals rabbit. And rabbit has rabbi in it, right? I think that's a big piece that we sometimes forget. Rabbit is just rabbi with a T, okay? So why are we going to connect Pope Francis? Because let's see if you guys are smart enough. Yeah, the killing name, right? Remember when Pope Francis died, I connected it to the song Gematria, the killing name. And now we're talking about a song called The Killing Moon. And a matter of fact, let's type in Gematria, the killing name. Oh yeah, Gematria equals 4442. Totally forgot that. Gematria equals 444. So what better way to see through than the number that equals Jesus and energy and stabbing and Lucifer, and this 444 is huge. But anyway, Gematria, the killing name, is the song by Slipknot. And it was connected to the Pope's death, right? It equals 214. Well, this song called The Killing Moon equals 214. See? Now, Rome, when did Pope Francis die? You guys remember when Pope Francis died, right? He died on the 21st day of the 4th month. Just like The Killing Moon equals 214, and Gematria, the killing name, equals, these are both songs, right? Both famous songs. One of them talks about Gematria, which we literally just used to decode all of this. And we're using it to decode this. And Rome was founded, Rome was founded on 21st day of the 4th month too. And that's when Pope Francis died. And again, Pope equals rabbit. Now, what day this year did Pope Francis die? What was the day? Let's see if you guys, do you guys already picking up what I'm getting at here? What was the holiday, which also equals 444? Holiday equals 444. So, but what was the holiday that he died on? Yeah, exactly. He died on Easter. Now, what do you think of when you think of Easter? What animal? This brings it all together. The killing moon is all about Pope Francis, guys. The death of Pope Francis is connected to the killing moon because the Pope is the rabbit, right? The rabbi. Pope equals rabbit. He died on Easter, right? He equals the killing moon. 214. The day he died is the name of The Killing Moon, which is the song by the Bunnymen, right? How perfect. And again, he died on 421, Easter Monday, Moon Day. Guys, he died on a moon day. Okay? He died on a moon day. And he died on the rabbit. So he literally died on the moon rabbit. Like the perfect day. And it goes with the song The Killing Moon. Okay. Now, I didn't even look to see. Oh, look at this. I didn't even notice. I didn't even see this. Look. The Pope died 164 days before Donnie Darko Day. 164, guys. The Killing Moon. I just found that. Frank the Rabbit was born 164 weeks after the moon landing. See? Frank the Rabbit, the actor, was born 164 weeks after the fake moon landing. The Killing Moon equals 164. And Pope Francis died 164 days before the day Donnie Darko takes place. And he died on 70. Look at this. He died on 70 date numerology. Look. The Killing Moon. Guys, maybe this isn't about the Golden Gate Bridge. Maybe the Killing Moon was always about Pope Francis's death. Maybe that was what was always coded. Remember how Trump came out? Remember, Francis is Frank. Look. Yes, the name Frank is a diminutive of Francis. So Frank died on the Killing Moon. Look, there it is. He died on 2/4/1, 164 days before Donnie Darko Day, and he died on 70 date numerology, which is the Killing Moon. Look, all the numbers. 70 date numerology. He died on 2/14, and he died 164 days before the day of Donnie Darko. Like this whole song back in 1984. And guys, 1984, that's when this song came out. Who was born in 1984? The last guy to see, I'm putting it all together. The last guy to visit Pope Francis was this guy. He was born in 1984. That was the year The Killing Moon came out. Look at this. The Killing Moon. The Killing Moon came out in 1984. J.D. Vance, the last guy to see Pope Francis alive, was born in 1984. And then he died on the Killing Moon. So J.D. Vance, the same year he was born. Like, what am I missing with the 88? Yeah, he died. Yeah, he died at 88, Pope Francis, right? Like Donnie Darko took place in 88. Yeah. So it's all perfect, guys. This song in 1984 was predicting the death of Pope Francis. It's as simple as that. It was a manifestation of the Killing Moon. He died on a Monday, Moon Day. He died 70. He died on 2/14, 164 days. I mean, it's just perfect. Oh, boy. That's crazy. So I'm just wondering if let's just go from the actual song to the death of Pope Francis. Hold on. Oh. Wow, look at this. 41 years and 13 weeks. Exactly. Death. So the Death Tarot card, right? The Death Tarot card is the 13th card, right? 41 is the 13th prime. So Pope Francis died 41 years and 13 weeks exactly after the Killing Moon song came out. So the last day that Pope Francis was alive was 1566 days. Wow, this is huge. Guys, this is huge. The last day that Pope Francis was alive after the Killing Moon song was 1566. Guys, why is that so important? Because Pope Francis is connected to the Golden Gate Bridge, right? Which I already connected here. How many days did it take for the Golden Gate Bridge to be built? Look. The Golden Gate Bridge construction started on the May 5th, 1933. Big shout out to Gematria Book on YouTube. He's the one who found all this first. But if you go to the day of construction finishing on 4/19, it's 1566 days. You guys get this? The Golden Gate Bridge took 1566 days to build, and Pope Francis died 1566 days after the Killing Moon. It's all about the Golden Gate Bridge, folks. Every time it comes back to that. This 1566 is the year that King James was born. The King James Bible. He's born in 1566. Yeah, Pope Francis was elected on 3/3/13. Yeah. I mean, wow. I didn't even know that. I mean, like, again, we're finding stuff on the fly now. So somebody says Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn equals 1566 in reverse primes. Yeah, 1566 is the gematria of Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco. Yeah, and big shout out once again to Gematria Book. 1566 is the gematria of Golden Gate Bridge, San Francisco, CA, right? Look, that's the amount of days it took to build. That's the year King James was born. That's the amount of days Pope Francis died after the Killing Moon. So again, where did my whole decode lead us to? It led us to the Golden Gate Bridge, right? Remember, the Killing Moon came out 1969 prime days after the Golden Gate Bridge finished, which is the moon landing, right? 1969. And then we talked about O.J. Simpson, right? Who was from San Francisco. Bad Bunny is going to be performing in San Francisco, right? It all connects back to that. And it all connects to this Super Bowl coming up. This one right here. Hold on. Dr. Savage says Strong's Concordance 1566 is to reveal. Wow. Look at that. That's crazy. Strong's 1566 is to uncover or reveal. Amazing work. Amazing addition. The revealing, guys. The apocalypse. That's what it means. The revelation, the revealing, the apocalypse. Disclose. Does the Super Bowl equal 164? Let me see that. The Super Bowl. Huh, wow. Look at that. Guys, look at that. The Super Bowl equals the Killing Moon. Huh. Charlie was on the 70th episode of George Janko. Really? That's a good one, Maggie. The Killing Moon, 70. Hey, Cody, look at this. The Killing Moon equals 59. The number of days, 20533 after the moon landing to the next full moon. The 59th star. Wow. Okay, guys, so make sure you guys go check out Decoding Our Reality. I'm going to be doing a video like tomorrow or the next day covering the blackout. Because if you guys have been watching, if you guys have been watching the his channel, you'll know that he's been talking about the blackout. And you guys know that the main topic of my channel for years was the blackout. So yeah, tomorrow is the day I will cover, or tomorrow or the next day, I will cover the blackout. But yeah, great addition, Decoding Our Reality. Joseph is saying that, Dr. Savage, make sure you guys go check out Dr. Savage, and he's doing work that most people aren't doing, just kind of like going into the organic connections with him. And his mom, unfortunately, his mom passed away this year. Sorry about that, brother. But much love to you. Hopefully everything's going well with you, and much love to you and your mom. The blackout is going to occur when the phoenix rises. When will that be, you think? Joseph says the Super Bowl equals 56 and 61 like Donnie Darko. Wow. Wow, yep, it does. The Super Bowl equals Donnie Darko. That's crazy. So, I mean, if you guys don't think this Super Bowl is all about Donnie Darko, and Back to the Future also. But yeah, I mean, how many weeks from, Sean says, check out how many weeks from his death to his 44th birthday. Okay, let me check that out. From his death to his 44th birthday. Can you give me that date, Sean? What's the date of his 44th birthday? I'm just a bit lazy. I don't feel like. His 44th birthday would be 12 years after this year. So it would be, I'm just doing it in my head. It would be 12 years after this year would be 2037. Right? Yep. So I was right. It was 2037. So it's 631 weeks. It's the 115. Wow. Killing. Wow. So he died the 115 prime weeks before his 44th birthday, which is kill. Look, kill equals 44, and killing equals 115. 115 is the 631. Charlie Kirk died 631 weeks before his 44th birthday, which is 4417 days, which is kill. Look, 4417. So he died 4417 before his 44th birthday, and kill equals 4417. And 631 weeks, which is the 15th 115 prime, which is killing. I mean, wow. Again, magic moon matrix. Yeah, I think you're a bit behind in the chat, Sean. I'm looking at that right now. Hey, Joseph, are you in here? Joseph, you seeing this? What is the chance of that? What is the absolute odds? His 44th birthday, he died 17 days before his 44th. Right here. Which was also this. Which was this. Which was the number I talked about. The killing moon number. The killing. And don't forget, Charles Kirk equals 115. So, yeah, I mean, here's your 115 right in his name. Joseph, did you see that? Did you just see what we did there? Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, again, I didn't do that. Shout out to Widow's Son for... That's why I love Widow's Son, because he thinks really outside the box, and he makes the most amazing connections. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, brother, for that amazing addition. Yeah, Orem Utah equals 115 also, yeah. I remember that. Orem Utah equals killing. So, I mean, come on. And equals... what was the other one? Assassin, yeah. I mean, look at this. The 115 is everywhere. So, considering I did my whole decode on the 115, and I didn't even, like, look at this. This was all about 115, right? And now we find out, look at all this. Charles Kirk, 115. Orem Utah, 115. Assassin, killing. Guys, make sure you guys go subscribe to all these people again in the chat. Widow's Son. If somebody could post the links of Widow's Son in the chat also. Joseph, drop your link in the chat. Dr. Savage, please drop your link in the chat. I think we're almost done here, guys. We've been on for an hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely AI generated stuff, but I also think it's manifestation. We're manifesting this reality together. And the elites, especially, have a lot of energy to work off of to manifest things, right? Think about how much energy they pull in at a football game, and all that energy can be directed to manifestation. We manifest things by putting our energy, into things, right? Which, funny enough, energy equals 444, right? Gematria is energy, of course. Everything's just an energy that is focused, right? But really, God's energy is on top, but it's all being manifested by these elites, right? That's what it is. They have all the energy from all of us. Yeah, there's a really good case for the Lions to be in the Super Bowl, because remember when this team, I told you, when they upset this team right here that made the upset 131 days before the Super Bowl, and Super Bowl equals 131? Well, this team is named the Lions. So again, big shout out to Rambo for this. The team here is called the Lions. And of course, there's a football team called the Lions. So is that a clue that the Lions will be in the Super Bowl? And where is Frank the Rabbit from, the actor, right? What city is Frank the Rabbit from? He's from Detroit, where the Lions play. Detroit. So if this really is connected to this guy, he's from Detroit. Look, he started acting in 1993. That's the year Charlie Kirk was born. Are you kidding me? He started acting in 93. I didn't even see that before. Charlie Kirk, born in 1993. Let's see how old he'll be on the Super Bowl. I didn't even check that. Guys, he'll be 1939 weeks. Or days, sorry. Watch out for this right here, because this could be a war sign. Are we going to get some sort of war news on October 12th or October 13th? Because Frank the Rabbit will be 1939 days forward and backward, like the year World War II started. But anyway, let's see how old he'll be on the Super Bowl. He'll be 19509. Well, he'll be 21 weeks. 21 weeks and 4 days after his birthday. That's the 214 code that we were just talking about. 151 days after his birthday. Also, another connection here is the Super Bowl this year will be on the 39th day of the year. JFK was assassinated on the day leaving 39 days in the year. So it's the opposite day. Also, people were telling me, can anyone tell me what that video was that was going around today with Trump? Did Trump post some sort of video? Can anyone remind me of what that was? I didn't look into the news at all today. Did Trump post a video? Somebody was telling me about that. Don't fear the Reaper, huh? Where do I find that out? Is that on X? I don't want to play the music because I'll get a copyright, but maybe I can. I don't know. Let me just hold on. Let me go back. Trump, don't fear the Reaper. Well, first of all, Trump 79 posts bizarre Grim Reaper themed AI music video. Guys, this is not good. That's all I have to say. This is not good. I really think there could be a big event this month. And this is just more proof that can you guys even see that? Oh, look, it's the clock. Did the lights just go out? Who's that playing the drums? Oh, is that JD Vance playing the drums? Oh my goodness. Here comes the Reaper. Well, that's Saturn. You guys know Saturn. This is a Saturn thing, of course. But the moon and Saturn are very connected. I believe Taylor Swift released her album today. Now their time has come. Um, Here comes the Reaper. Let's see what that equals. What? Here comes the Reaper equals 1122, like the JFK. I was just talking about all this JFK stuff. JFK. Look at this, guys. It kept repeating, "Here comes the Reaper," which equals JFK assassination and Donnie Darko. Huh. Oh man. Did the power just go out? Because they're having a government shutdown right now. Yeah, this does definitely connect to the riddles. The shutdown is the days of darkness. Huh. Funny, we're talking about Donnie Darko now, right? The song says blah 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 blah, which equals 115. No way. Wait, 5 blahs, huh? No way. Blah 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 blah. What? No. No way. Are you kidding me? The whole decode I'm talking about this in this video says blah 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 blah. There's your 115 again. Oh my goodness. Yeah, guys, that's what I feel like right now. Blah blah. It equals Charles Kirk. Blah 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 equals Charles Kirk. Equals killing. Crazy stuff, man. It says the power's out. Is it the song? What's the song called? Is it Don't Fear the Reaper or something like that? Or is it the actual song? So the actual song doesn't say the power, but it's Trump's song. The lyrics in the Trump video. Okay. I can't play it, but I'm going to try to see. Yeah, here's the blah, 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 blah. Well, look at this. Grim Reaper equals Donnie Darko. What's going on, man? A lot of Donnie Darko matches tonight. I mean, look at this. Like, even blah, 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 blah equals 110. Like Grim Reaper, like Donnie Darko, Rabbit. Don't fear. The song is called, the original song is called Don't Fear the Reaper. Hold on. Don't Fear the Reaper. Doesn't give me a release date. Look at the songwriters. look at the songwriters. Songwriters is Donald Buck. Dharma. So the guy who wrote the song is Donald? Are you kidding me? Donald Buck. Wow. One moment. I find it funny that Don't Fear the Reaper equals Moon Lunation. Just talking about that. Well, look at that. Don't Fear the Reaper equals Year of the Fire Horse, which is next year. Next lunar eclipse is on 3/3 next year. Yep. Is there a release date for this song? Don't Fear the Reaper? Just says 1976. Doesn't say a date. Look at this, 405. It was listed as 405th on Rolling Stone. O.J. Simpson's was not today. It says not guilty day, and he was saw on 405. That's interesting. I was covering that number earlier. Fading the Public says May 21st, 1976. Donald Duck Or I want to say Donald Duck. What? Wait. So they call this guy. Let's just see what his full name equals. Donald Brian Roser. Interesting. Number of the Beast. New World Order. 174. XRP Ledger equals his name. Interesting. Golden Gate Bridge attack equals his name. I just throwing stuff out there. Internet outage. But his name is Buck Dharma. That's what his real name is, Donald, but he goes by Buck Dharma. Guys, the money again, Buck. Oh, Buck Dharma equals cyber attack. See that? And again, I really think we're getting close to some sort of cyber attack or power outage. But Buck Dharma. Let's see. He was born November 12th, 1947. Well, he has the same birthday as the Jesuit Superior General. Wait, when was Arturo Sosa born? Oh, so Arturo Sosa was born on the 1-year birthday of Buck Dharma. So November 12th, 1947. Let's see from Trump. So Trump born 517 days before him. Something there. 516 days. That's a number I see often. But I don't know. But somebody says May 21st, 1976 was the song. Let's see, just see if there's anything to today. Did the song get released today? Or the AI song? Oh, wow. Okay. If the song got released today, did Trump post this song today? Can anyone verify that? Or even if it was yesterday. Even if it was yesterday, it was fine. It released on Donnie Darko. Okay, well, that doesn't matter because look, 1832. Guys, if the song, can anyone verify again if this is the release date of the song? Is the release date 5/21/1976 of Don't Fear the Reaper? If it is, it's 1832 days. Guys, Skull and Bones was founded in 1832. So if anyone can verify that, then we know that this is the Skull and Bones 1832 code. From the song to today, 1832. Somebody says they're seeing 7/31/1976. Okay, well, one person said 5/21. Don't Fear the Reaper release date. See, this says May. This says July 31st. But another place says May. Yes, Blue Oyster Cult's album Agents of Fortune, which features the song Don't Fear the Reaper, was released. Ah, okay. So the album Agents of Fortune, guys, what the heck? Money stuff again. So wait. Agents of Fortune, May 21st. Yep, there it is. So the album, what the song was on, released exactly 1832 days before Trump posted that. That's Skull and Bones, guys. That's the year Skull and Bones was founded, 1832. Right? Yeah, the song released as a single on a different day, but this still it still fits because when you don't see a day, you can still the album release was the original day. This is the first day that people could hear the song. May 21st, 1976 on the album Agents of Fortune. Blue Oyster Cult? I mean, come on. Talking about cults here? Equals Tyler Robinson. Wow. Look at this. Agents of Fortune. $186. That's like almost a perfect match. So we just had all this stuff with Tyler Robinson. And now this album equals Tyler Robinson. Huh. I don't know how that would. I mean, obviously it just happened. So Buck. And again, you got Buck, like money. Let's see what Blue Oyster Cult equals. Where are they from? They're from New York. Cult. This is all going back to the cult of personality. Oh, wow, look. Wow, Blue Oyster Cult equals Jesus Christ. Interesting. Look. All right, so this is interesting. The band that writes Don't Fear the Reaper, Blue Oyster Cult, equals Jesus Christ. Now, this 1275 is really important to what I talked about today because next year on the Super Bowl, that will be during lunation 1275. You guys see that? I just talked about the importance of lunations, and the Super Bowl next year will be in lunation 1275. And that's the gematria of Blue Oyster Cult and Jesus Christ. So this number is something where there's also a huge alignment with this number. I'm not going to get into it now, but something with that. But anyways, the point is you see the government being shut down, reaping. Trump's going after all the government officials. You know, I haven't even done anything on AI or 3i Atlas, but there's also that going on right now. How long have we been? It's already 12, man. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to make you guys listen to me for hours. I meant to get off here a long time ago, but I just kind of wanted to keep going over this video. But I'm gonna probably have to do more looking into this. We found the Skull and Bones connection. But I got to get a video out about the blackout too. I feel like I really want to do a video on that. So thank you guys for sticking around this long. So I'm gonna get off here. It's late. It's midnight. Time for us all to go to sleep. I wish you all sweet dreams and a very good evening and morning. And if a blackout is coming in the next days, well, and we don't see each other again, who knows? Maybe the internet will get blacked out and I'll never be able to do a video for you guys again. I don't know. But if that happens, I still love y'all. And we're in this together. God's got this. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on right now that could turn into something big. So, but yeah, thank you all in the chat. Thank you to all the great decoders, all the great listeners. And we'll see you guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. That's always appreciated. And if you want to support the channel, hit the like. buymeacoffee.com/decodingwithcody. But yeah, have a good night, and we'll see you guys probably tomorrow. So take care.